Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we will discuss the introduction of electron transport chain, oxidative phosphorylation, and chemiosmosis. Actually, in the inner mitochondrial membrane, the cristae, there is a series of electron carriers or complexes which consist of enzymes and coenzymes that perform oxidation reduction reactions. And in these reactions, electrons are ultimately delivered to the oxygen, and with the hydrogen they form water. The whole sequence of this movement of electron in different complexes is known as electron transport chain. As long as oxidative phosphorylation is concerned, phosphorylation is the mechanism in which ADP and phosphate will join to form ATP by the enzyme ATP synthase. So, here when these electrons are moving from one complex to the other, they also energy of these electrons is utilized for the pumping of a proton from across the membrane, and when these protons are accumulated in an inner membrane space, they move through the ATP synthase, and ATP is formed. So this process is known as oxidative phosphorylation, and the mechanism by which these protons are channeling through the ATP synthetase, the mechanism is known as chemiosmosis. We will discuss each of the component in detail. So let us first review about the respiration. And the first step in the aerobic respiration is the glycolysis, in which using different enzymes, glucose is converted into pyruvate, and ATP as a substrate level phosphorylation is produced here, and along with coenzymes are reduced here. NADH coenzymes are reduced, and in a second step of aerobic respiration, this pyruvic acid is moved into oxidative decarboxylation, in which pyruvate will be converted into acetyl CoA, and here another coenzyme is being reduced here, and this acetyl CoA will enter into the Krebs cycle, and within a Krebs cycle this acetyl CoA consumed and produce one ATP molecule as a substrate level phosphorylation, and NADH reduced as a coenzyme, and other coenzyme, that is a FADH2, also reduced here, and carbon dioxide is produced. So all these coenzymes which are reduced either in a glycolysis or produced in oxidative decarboxylation of the pyruvic acid or produced in a Krebs cycle, all these coenzymes will oxidize in a series of electron carriers that produce energy in the form of ATP, and finally electron will be delivered to the hydrogen that form water by combining with oxygen. So this is the whole sequence, and how this sequence will be carried out. Here is a location of electron transport chain. Is a mitochondria, is a outer membrane, inner membrane, that is the inner folding, that is known as cristae, and all these electron carriers or complexes are arranged here within the cristae. These are different complexes which are embedded in a membrane. Some are embedded and some are attached with these complexes. So this is the cristae. Other component of a mitochondria is a mitochondrial matrix. Is a cristae, inner membrane, outer membrane, and here is a inner membrane space. These two locations are very important as long as electron transport chain is concerned. or chemiosmosis is concerned. So here is the ATP synthetase, and the whole sequence of these complexes is known as electron transport chain. There is some ribosome and circular DNA is also present because it's a semi-autonomous organelle, mitochondria, and two reactions of aerobic respiration takes place in a mitochondria. One is a Krebs cycle which takes place in the matrix of the mitochondria, and electron transport chain takes place in the cristae of that mitochondria. These both type of reaction are being occurred in mitochondria. So let's take some detail in the next slides about this electron transport chain. Here we will discuss simple introduction of electron transport chain. Actually, electron transport chain consists of 5 different complexes and associated enzyme and coenzyme structures. All these complexes are embedded in a thylakoid membrane, inner crystal membrane, as we have seen in a previous slide. So here is a two sides of the membrane. It's a matrix side, and here is a inner membrane space. So this is a one electron transport chain embedded in a cristae. Thousands of electron transport chain are embedded in a mitochondrial cristae. So let's take a bird's eye view of this electron transport chain. It consists of 5 different complexes. Complex 1, that is NADH dehydrogenase or NADH oxidoreductase. Second complex is named as succinate reductase. Actually, this is the same enzyme which is present in Krebs cycle also. It is a only Krebs cycle enzyme which is associated with the membrane, which convert this succinate into fumarate, and molecules of FAD coenzyme is reduced here. So it has a dual function. It also play an important role in a Krebs cycle and also involved in a electron transport chain. So next is a ubiquinone, that is a coenzyme, and that take electrons from complex 1 and complex 2 and reduce into QH2. When it is reduced, its reduced form QH2 is known as ubiquinol. In oxidized form, it is known as ubiquinone, and in a reduced form, it is known as ubiquinol. And this ubiquinol delivered electron to the complex 3. This is a complex 3, and it delivered electron to another small protein complex which is known as cytochrome C, which detach and deliver electron to the complex 4. And complex 4, complex 3 is known as cytochrome C oxidoreductase. So it involved in the reduction of a cytochrome C, and this complex 4 accept the electron from cytochrome C, and within complex 4 a series of electron carriers which ultimately delivered electron to the oxygen, and hydrogen is added, oxygen is added, and then ultimately 2 molecules of water are produced here, and protons are pumped across the membrane. So these complexes, especially complex 1, complex 3 and complex 4, are also act as a proton pump, because the pumping of these protons create a electrochemical potential, and this electrochemical potential is very important as it acts as a fuel for the operation of a fifth complex, which is a ATP synthetase, that actually involved in the formation of ATP. So this formation of ATP, when electrons are carried from one complex to the other and ultimately delivered to the oxygen, on the basis of this we call this as a oxidative phosphorylation. So this complex will be only in operation when all these protons moves through these channels, as this inner membrane is impermeable to these protons. So formation of ATP actually depends upon the movements of the proton. So the coenzyme, for example NADH, delivered its electron to first complex as FMN, that is the flavin mononucleotide, and reduced into other form, that is FMNH2, and this delivered electron to the other domain, that is the ferrous sulfur domain, and this ferrous sulfur domain electrons are delivered to the ubiquinone, and 4 protons are pumped outside. There is a 4 proton pump which are moving in inner membrane space. So this complex also act as a proton pump, and the energy of the electron used for the pumping of these proton. Next is the complex 2, which is already described, which is the same that present in the Krebs cycle, when succinate is converted into fumarate, and one coenzyme, that is the FADH, is reduced, and FAD also delivered its electron to the ubiquinone. So complex 1 and complex 2 delivered electron to the ubiquinone. The difference between complex 1 and complex 2 is that complex 2 is not a proton pump, actually it's only deliver electrons to the ubiquinone. So electrons of delivered by complex 1 and complex 2 both deliver electrons to the ubiquinone, and this ubiquinone in its oxidized form is known as ubiquinone, and when by accepting electron and 2 protons from the matrix site converted into QH2, which is known as ubiquinol, its reduced form, and this in its reduced form it delivers electron to the complex 3, and complex 3 is a very important complex here, and very important electron transport chain within this complex is being operated, that is known as Q cycle, that will be discussed in next lecture. And by delivering within this complex different electron carriers, and then electrons are delivered to the cytochrome C, and 4 protons are pumped outside. So this cytochrome C is a mobile protein. It detaches from the complex 3 and delivered and attached with the complex 4 and deliver electrons to complex 4 and oxidize itself by giving electron to the complex 4. And complex 4 also have some inner electron carriers that ultimately delivered electron to the oxygen, which is enter into this complex, and then hydrogen is enter into that complex. So water is formed here, and 2 molecules of water are released or produced here, and 2 protons are uh, pumped out into the intermembrane space. So, if we take NADH here from complex 1 to complex 4, it delivered 4 protons here, 4 protons here, and 2 protons here. It actually um, pumped 10 protons from matrix to inner membrane space, while FAD, FADH2 when delivered as electron into UBQ known and electron delivered to the site complex 3 and complex 4, it produces 6 protons. So ATP formation is actually depends upon how much protons are being accumulated in the inner membrane space. NADH coenzyme accumulate 10 protons while FAD collects 6 protons. So that's why NADP produce more ATP molecules as compared to FADH. Researcher calculated that 4 protons when channels through the ATP is 1 ATP molecule is produced. So if we calculate here NADH which which accumulate 10 proton, when these 10 proton will be entered into the channels of this ATP synthetase, that will produce 2.5 ATP molecules, while FAD which produce 6 protons, 4 and 2 6, when this it will produce a 1.4 ATP molecules. So these are the calculation that will be discussed in next slide. So here are the some calculations about oxidative phosphorylation. As we have seen in a previous slide, electrons are moving through the different complexes and ultimately delivered to the oxygen and form water, and protons are pumped across the membrane, and these protons are then channels through the ATP synthetase and ATP is formed. This type of formation of ATP is known as oxidative phosphorylation. So let us calculate some of the ATP molecules which may be produced by the reduction of our different coenzymes. We have our two type of coenzyme which has been produced in different metabolic pathway. One is a NADH and other is a FADH. NADH when completely oxidized, it produces actually 10 protons across the membrane. So it accumulates 10 protons across the membrane, because these protons accumulation is the very important parameters as long as oxidative phosphorylation is concerned. Calculation of ATP is actually depends upon the accumulation of a proton in a inner membrane space. So if NADH completely oxidize, it will accumulate 10 ATP in a inner membrane space, while FAD will accumulate 6 proton. So the number of ATP molecule produced depends upon the number of protons pumped across the membrane. So it is estimated that 4 proton when moves through the ATP synthetase, it will generate 1 ATP molecule. So in this calculations, 1 NADH will give rise to 2.4 ATP molecules, while FADH2 will give rise 1.5 ATP molecules. For our convenience, sometimes we convert this 2.5 into whole number, that is 3, and this may be converted into, for our convenience, into 2, but actually NADH will produce 2.5 ATP molecules, while NADH2 produce 1.5 ATP molecule. Here is the energetics of a whole uh, aerobic respiration. Energy yielded in a glucose in a glycolysis. If anaerobic respiration, glucose moves into anaerobic respiration. So in first step, hexokinase enzyme utilize 1 ATP, phosphofructokinase utilize 1, and other ATP 2 molecules are consumed here. And in step 6, glyceraldehyde 3 phosphodehydrogenase enzyme that will produce NADH, and 2 NADH are being produced here, and 2.5 multiplied by 2, 5 ATP molecules are being produced. As we have discussed that 1 NADH will produce 2.5 ATP molecule. And this phosphoglycerol kinase is a substrate level phosphorylation that produce 2 ATP molecules. Phosphokinase then also a substrate level phosphorylation. 4 ATP molecules here are produced as a substrate level phosphorylation, and 2 are consumed here. Total 4 into 5, 9 total ATP molecules. 4 are produced in substrate level phosphorylation, 5 are produced in oxidative phosphorylation, total 9 are produced, and 2 molecules of ATP are used here. Total net amount of ATP produced in aerobic respiration in glycolysis is a 7 ATP molecule. Here is a Krebs cycle in step isocitrate dehydrogenase that produce NADH. That NADH again produce 2.5, and 2 NADH here produce 5 ATP molecules. Again, here is a dehydrogenase that produce NADH, also produce same 5 ATP molecules, and here succinate thiokinase enzyme that produce 1 ATP molecule in each cycle. So there are 2 cycles, then 2 ATP molecule produced as substrate level phosphorylation here, and other FADH will produce only 1.5. So 2 FAD are produced in a Krebs cycle, then 3 ATP molecules are generated here, and malodehydrogenase again produce 1 in each case NADH, and so we collect here 2 NADH and they will produce 5 ATP molecules. Total score will be 20 ATP molecules in aerobic respiration. 7 are produced in glycolysis, and 20 are produced in electron in TCA cycle, Krebs cycle. Here net generation of the glycolysis 7 ATP molecules. ATP generation in pyruvate dehydrogenase when acetyl coenzyme A formation takes place, that produce 5 ATP molecules, and in citric acid 20 ATP molecules. So total net ATP from one glucose molecule is approximately 32 ATP molecules. Here is some variations. Some people consider that the NADH which are produced in glycolysis behave like NADH. So if we calculate in this way, 2 molecules will be minus from 32, the score will be 30. So the plausible answer of this energetics of aerobic respiration is between 30 to 32 ATP molecules are actually being generated in one, if a one glucose molecule is oxidized in a anaerobic pathway. This is all about today about the electron transport chain and oxidative phosphorylation. The details of electron transport chain and explanations of the each complex will be discussed in next lecture, inshallah. Thank you.